All right, so we're here today with Emmanuel Leah, and yeah. So do you want to introduce yourself and a little
Yeah,
bit about your history?
sure. Yeah, it's quite an eclectic background, but I'm actually a 2004 graduate of the United States Military Academy at West Point. So I was an Army
Thank
guy,
you,
go Army.
thank you for
Uh,
your service.
well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And so I served my time, I finished up, and I've always been entrepreneurial. I was had a web design business when I was in high school, right? So I always wanted to get back into it. So when I left the Army, I went and got my MBA over at UTEP, finished that, and I had landed at Amazon, right? I got to go work for the e-commerce juggernaut, if you will. So I learned shipping, fulfillment, all of that. My last job there was the most intense and most exciting. I managed a 1.1 million square foot facility with 750 employees, 30 managers, and we were shipping out 1 million packages a week. It was
Wow.
intense. Yeah.
And
But
what did they do? Wait, you can't forget the robot part.
Oh yeah, and we had the building that implemented the Kiva robotics. So we had figured out instead of a picker having to walk 10 to 12 miles a day, these robots would bring the bins to the picker. So it was much less stress, fatigue, safety issues. Like people just were happier working in these kinds of buildings. So we had to figure out how to make that work within the Amazon fulfillment network.
So
So
you're a master of logistics and
I love it.
processes.
I love it, man. Running. There's nothing better than having a plan for the day. We've got 10 trucks we've got to unload with hundreds of pallets and seeing it all get sucked into the building and done in
Wow.
10 hours, right? Or every hour, 1,000. Like, I just love it, right? It feels good. But where that experience was very helpful was I made an observation while I was there because I started out right around the time FBA was starting, Fulfillment by Amazon.
What
And
year
so
was that?
I can't even remember. Was it 2008? 2000,
Okay, yeah. Well, I can
yeah,
look at the
around that time.
timetable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yep.
can figure that out. But 2010, I think is what, yeah, 2010, 8 years ago. So 2010 is when I started, and it was starting around that time. And so as I grew in my career, um, I watched FBA sellers grow. And when it first started out, it was just junk, right? People would empty out their warehouse, put a barcode stick, or sorry, their garage, and just send all kinds of stuff because it was actually cheaper to store stuff in an Amazon warehouse than it was to store in like a U-Haul facility or a public storage. That's how, because they always
Wow.
undercut price. Like it was so much cheaper, they just would ship their entire storage unit to us. So it was horrible. But we made a couple observations. There were these niche sites, these really small, like bacon flavored underpants, right? Or bacon flavored chapstick, like just really weird products that we would laugh about. But the next month there'd be a pallet of them. The next month
Oh,
after that, there'd be two pallets, and there'd be three pallets. And we're like, wait a second, what's going on here? These guys, this guy is finding this stuff, shipping it to Amazon. We're handling the customer service. We're building them a mini website. We're doing the warehousing, the fulfillment, I'm on the wrong side of this thing. I need to get a product and ship it into Amazon and have them do all the work. And so at that point, I reached the top. I was like, I've already managed a fulfillment center. Let me try this out. And my sister calls me. She says, hey, I've got an idea for a product, but I don't know what to do next. I was like, perfect. I do. So we partnered up and we started with a $10,000 credit card and we built that up to 750,000 our first year, and then $5.5 million in revenue annually in our second year and beyond. Right. The interesting thing about that is my plan was to buy it and send it to Amazon, but I learned a very valuable lesson almost too late was that Amazon is great if people are searching for your product. Right. If there's demand for it, you can do the keywords, you can do sponsored ads, you can get in front of those people. The problem
yep.
is if no one's searching for it, there's no search volume.
Yeah. That ran
Yeah.
into that issue with a couple of my first products. So
Yeah. And so it was tough. So literally, as an Amazon guy who's gung ho about doing an Amazon FBA business, I had to learn very quickly how to do business off Amazon, right? And so replacing what Amazon does on my own. So had to find out how to warehouse, how to fulfill without fulfilling on my own, how to do customer service, and then how to do the most important thing, which is create demand, like get customers. So we tried every channel. We tried Facebook ads, we tried AdWords, we tried all of them, right? We landed on influencer marketing, and that's where we really started to take off. You know,
oh,
took off with influencer marketing. We tied that to having a funnel with landing pages and email marketing, and then once we had that funnel in place, a customer acquisition system, then we just needed the fuel. needed more traffic. And that's where paid advertising networks are phenomenal, like Facebook or AdWords, because then they started just getting us buckets of traffic. And so, yeah, and then we scaled very quickly. So that's why in 3 years, we put $5 million business.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is your brand still live today, and that thing is
Yep.
up and nice?
Yeah.
And the
Satin lined
influence.
caps or gracealea.com.
So is influencer marketing still working for you guys, or have you moved to more of a paid kind of you did influencers to get off the ground, and then now at paid ads or?
Yeah, the challenge with influencer marketing is scalability, which was challenging for us because each time you do a campaign, if you want to work with 10 influencers, a lot of emailing back and forth, and you got to hunt them down. Then you're not sure if they actually will work with you and your brand when you're emailing them. You're not sure if they're going to like your product, and you're not sure if they're going to take money or actually do a video. And then even if all of that stuff aligns and you're able to get a good price and you can negotiate a deal, they may do a bad video. Right.
Oh, yep.
All that could happen. So it's very highly variable, highly risky, although it doesn't take any money to get started. Right. You just do it. So it's a great channel to get started with, get a bunch of them under your belt. But then to scale it, you've got to go to these networks like FameBit or Grapevine or Relio. And in that area, they solve the hardest problems of influencer, which is you don't know if they're going to like your product. You don't know if they're going to like your company. You don't know if they're going to work with you. And then you don't know how much are they going to charge you or not. These platforms, you say, hey, I need help. And you get an army of these guys replying 60, 70, 80 saying, not only do I want your product, I want to work with your company, but I'll do it for this price. And here's the type of video I'm going to do. Right. So it's great to start, but then it's changed a lot too. So this was 6, 7 years ago when people weren't as tuned in or blind to sponsored videos. And the FTC hadn't put out that every video needs to say sponsored by.
Oh.
So we still do influencer, but it's changed, right? You can no longer just send them product, give them some money, they do a video, and you make a lot of money. That doesn't happen anymore. You've got to be more strategic. So here's how I do influencer now. I use influencers as my video production agency, right? So once we learned ads, we realized Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, all of these ad networks love video. They're trying to get more video on their platform. So it's actually cheaper to run video ads than it is to run like image ads or regular.
Oh, way cheaper.
Way cheaper, right? Your click-throughs are going to be cheaper. Your reach is going to get further if you do video. But why don't more people do it? Because they don't know how to do video. But yet you have this army of people who have sound man, who have mixing capabilities, they have video editing capabilities, and they're going to do an entire interesting video for you because that's their job, right? Just create interesting content. They're going to make something interesting about your product. Guess what? Now you have video. You do 10 of those. You hire a video editor for $100 or so. They'll take the most interesting pieces of each of those videos, put them into a mashup, and now you have a perfect video for YouTube in-stream ads, for Facebook video ads. So I do a lot of that now, creating creative for people. And oh, by the way, you can take those videos that they've made, repurpose them for social media.
Oh.
Those are your social media posts. You can have someone on Fiverr for $12 do a blog post of each one. So if you get 10 videos done, you can get 10 blog posts done as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and where that's really interesting is for SEO purposes.
Now
when you
rank
have
for their name. Oh.
You rank for their name, you rank for that title, but you don't just rank with the words in search. You also rank because you put images of the video, you take screenshots. So now you're ranking for that term for the image tab results.
Oh, so when people hit images. Oh.
Exactly. And then the search, and then you run AdWords queries to that same one. And now when someone searches for that topic, you dominate that search result page, right?
Oh.
Blog posts, social media. And then people also, when they first start, they don't have testimonials, right? They don't have a lot of, 5-star reviews. You can take snippets of what the influencer said, take their profile photo, put those together, and now you've got a testimonial, right?
Oh.
Or a case study that you can add on your site.
All right, so influencer marketing can be like 5 things in one. If it's wow.
Yeah, that's
like
why
that.
I kind of get frustrated with folks because they're like, I don't pay any influencers. I don't want to pay them because they're looking at it as purely a marketing channel. I don't think it's that anymore.
Direct ROI, like
Exactly.
how did I get more dollars than I put in, but they're not seeing the true value of it. Okay.
Exactly. They're not comparing apples to apples. What you should compare it is if I were to go make a YouTube in-stream video or a Facebook video ad, how much would that cost me? Cheapest you're going to get is $2,500. If you pay 10 influencers $250, you're going to get something way better than that one commercial, right? You get much more video time, you know.
So viewing influencers as a video production company instead of a direct
channel.
ROI ad.
So I look at them as a video production agency and social proof, right? Because if you don't have any testimonials on your site, we just talked about that a second ago, you know, case studies, this product worked for me, I love it so much. If you have that kind of, it improves your marketing. So now you have video and social proof from this channel that you can use on your site, especially when you're just getting started out. It just makes everything better.
Oh, all right. And you have an agency where you help people out with that, right?
Absolutely. You come on in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So essentially, you're kind of a plug and play. So you just want to like describe what you help people with exactly, like, you know, because it's kind of like somebody wants to do influencer marketing, but they're you know, they hear it works, but then now what? You know, like,
yeah. Sure. So most people, they hear it works and they're kind of like, I'm confused, and they want to do ROI. If they want to do ROI, I say absolutely go for it. Good luck. Not really what we do here, because we know that it's extremely hard to do that. You've got to find really high quality influencers, really high price with a lot of audience and engage. So what we do is actually we create video for you and we create assets, right? Those testimonials, those blog posts, those mashup videos. That's what we create for you by using influencers. So you show up, you say, hey, I want to work with you. So our job is to figure out what are the things that that make your brand you. We interview you about what's interesting. The goal being to find interesting hooks for influencers to make videos about. Then we go out and scour the internet and try and find influencers as quickly as possible. So within a week, we come back with 30, 40 options, and we narrow those down with you based on budget, look and feel, works with the brand, down to 8 to 10, right? And after that week, we then ship out product and negotiate prices with them, right? So we're constantly trying to get you the best price, working with an influencer, the lowest possible price, because again, our goal is not ROI on the marketing channel, it's as many assets as possible. We're big on quantity over quality because we know we're going to edit this eventually. So we get the influencers, we get 8 to 10 videos back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we then hand it off to our editors. You may make some sales off that initial push. They release their videos, it works, it's great. And oh, by the way, you get to approve the videos, right? So video comes back, you'll never have a video go out that you don't like, right? Which is something that's different than if you reach out to them yourself. If you send them product, you have no idea what they're going to say. So we get to approve. And then once that's done, we get all the videos back, we give it to the editor, and we begin making a content factory, right? We start churning out assets for you, blog posts, mashup videos, social media posts, testimonials, and we get those all back to you so you can populate. The goal is to populate about 90 days worth of social media posts, blog posts, and ad creative for you to launch your brand.
Oh, yeah. Well, that sounds pretty awesome. Just for anybody who's looking to get into influencer marketing, but just doesn't have the time, or where do I start? Or like, I know for me at least, getting video work done, it's still hard today. Communicating with an editor and knowing, so you guys have those learnings, and people can just kind of, it's plug and play more so,
Absolutely.
So I think that's a good service for the right people. Yeah. So, all right. Well, you guys know a little bit about Emmanuel here, and we'll be covering more on this whole topic and about his the services that he offers in later videos here. So, but this is a good intro, and now we'll get into more content.
Awesome.